This is my third year as a projectionist. So I've been a projectionist fully for about almost 2 years now because I got hired in November of my freshman year. And I got trained on 35 starting in about December, but then I didn't really get a full handle on it until maybe March because it was just a completely new medium because you don't expect it when you're applying for a projectionist job. You just think of movies as movies. So to see it in the aspect of every second of the film is a tangible frame and you have to work with all of it as a giant medium, it was very intricate to get used to.
What I enjoy the most about using 35mm film is that you get a personal relationship with the art that film is. Like, you can look at the physical creation that somebody came together to create, and you, before anybody else can touch this art and look at it and put it together, and you're part of the process. You're part of bringing it all to the people in the audience.
35, it's what's still alive of the origins of film, and to see it die is what just makes me feel like a big part of the industry itself is dying.
Switching to digital is beneficial to movie theaters, not necessarily because of the cost these days, but because they have no choice. They're not going to be able to get 35mm prints anymore. I operated a movie theater for 7 years, and sometimes we experience problems with 35mm. The print might not arrive on time, or it might arrive damaged. There are also times that if someone hasn't threaded correctly, or if the film is slipped, it might get on a roller and then scratch the entire film. And you're stuck with that film. So 35 is by no means a perfect medium. I'm not sure that I'm a fan of digital yet, but reasons it might be beneficial to switch over. We won't have to pay as much to ship prints. It could cost $150 or more to get a print. And it takes a long time to train a projectionist to be good on 35mm. I'd say 6 months to a year for someone to be decent, but to be good, it really takes longer than that. And I think training a digital projectionist is gonna be a matter of saying which buttons to hit. And it's not quite the art that it was.
Within the context of university education, film has served a role, a historical role, in that what we teach and what many people teach in other film and media departments is, at least partially, a history of the medium. A history of the medium's kind of high points, a history of the medium's influence, a history of the medium's interaction with other aspects of culture. And in order to do that, in order to be aware of the medium, one has to encounter it. One has to be able to have some kind of contact with that medium. We all know that for example, in our history class, there are massive benefits to going to museums and seeing paintings in person rather than seeing low-fidelity reproductions in books. You have the sense of scale, you have the sense of texture, you have the proximity, you have all these things that are unique, that you can't replicate in any other medium.
I remember when I shot my first few rolls of Super 8 or 16, you didn't shoot the film and you didn't say, okay, can I rewind that and see it? You had no idea if what you did would work out. You know, we shot it, we sent it to the lab, we got it back. We didn't get to project it. We handed it off to the professor, and it's like, boom, there's our film. And that's the moment we found out if it really sucked or not. So, like, in front of all the students. But it is part of, like, there's a certain presence that you have in that moment that's lacking with video.
The technologies that made cinema possible are very, very closely related in history to those that made the sewing machine possible and the machine gun possible, because they have to deal with the same kind of intermittent, rapid motion. There are no moving images in cinema. The notion of a moving image is created through an illusion when film is projected at a certain speed. And because of the human eye's limitations, we perceive movement even though what is contained in the celluloid is not movement.
There's something about seeing not only film, but film projected on a film projector, and to see the way that light passes through celluloid and onto the screen. It's incredibly organic. And I think only when you've seen that, you sort of get it.
The term celluloid has the same etymology and historical linkage to the word cellular. And of course, when you see the grain, it looks like little cells if you look closely. And so there's a sense in which if you were to kind of shave off a piece of human skin and cut it down at 35 millimeters, project light through it, it might look kind of like film.
And so to me there is this, however maybe hyperbolic this claim may seem, there's something organic about film. There's something organic about the human experience, about the human body, about eyesight. And there's this kind of poetic association there.
There's something special about that flicker. It's like the flame on a candle or in a fire. It projects that warm, comfortable feeling that I need in a movie theater. And when you turn down the lights in a room so that people can watch a movie theater, did you know that the audience starts feeling colder? And that little light, that little flicker from the screen makes a difference. It sounds crazy, but that's my experience.
The pleasures of film are ones that I'm particularly fond of, and the less access I have to them and the more I see them kind of waning in the future, the sadder I get about it. And so what we have to think about when we think about this process and this conversion and the change to film going is that one kind of experience is being lost and replaced by another kind of experience. That to me is just something that's worthy of some kind of mourning.